So the rebranding was obviously driven by the fact that our company has changed ownership in December of last year. We were called CHEP because our mother company was called CHEP. And when the company was sold, we only had the rights to continue to keep the name for maximum 9 months. And so, there was not a long planning process. More or less beginning of December, we said we need to rebrand and we need to find a new name. And because we are constantly investing into new equipment, we didn't want that new containers, when they are coming, that they are still rebranded or branded with the old name, and that's why there was kind of an urgency to come up with a new name. So we did a tender for the selection of a brand agency in early December. They selected then an agency called Spinach out of London in the UK. Spinach like the vegetable, funny name. And then we really started first with a process where we involved all employees. We have a staff newspaper, and we did kind of a small lottery, if you want. Who comes up with the best name can win a prize. So we got a lot of names. Unilode actually was not part of the names. And then we had call it series of creativity workshops with the brand agency, and then selected Unilode just before Christmas. Then over Christmas and New Year, the agency did the artwork, came up with the logo as such, with the color scheme, the font, and all those details. And then mid of January, we selected the logo as you see it here. Obviously, the name Unilode, unit load device, has a relation to what we are doing, but it is a completely new look. We were, if you go back to the past, before we were acquired by CHEP in 2010, the company was called Unit Pool. So again, unit load device, unit and pooling, because we do asset pooling, and it was blue, the company color was blue, and also CHEP was blue. So there were a lot of proposals from staff to go back to the old days, maybe have pooling again in the name, but we decided it's now the right moment to really forget about the heritage to a certain extent. Obviously there is a lot of heritage we are proud of, but with the name we want to have something new, something fresh, a different color, and that's how we ended up with Unit Pool. And the longer the logo is used and the more people see it, the more it resonates, and we are very happy with it now. Our business is an information business and very much data driven, and so technology plays a vital role, and that was part of the briefing to the agency, that we want to have a more technical, more innovation represented in the name. I have a speech tomorrow at the conference here about smart ULDs. So and you might recall 2 years ago we won the first IATA Innovation Award for our ULD tracking and tracing technology. So and we are really continuing to invest in that technology. So what we hope to achieve soon in the first test with one of our large customers is to have a ULD which is able to talk, which is able to measure temperature, which is able to measure shock, which is able to measure whether it has, the door has been opened or whatever, so with sensors. And you can read that information with any mobile phone. Damages, obviously. And so if we can measure when a ULD has been hit and the sensor measures an impact, let's say, of 7G, then you can immediately pin down the location and say that's where the damage occurred, and that gives you a good chance to identify who caused the damage.
Yeah.
And the second is the loss and unreported, as we call it. And obviously, if the ULD tells you where it is, the chances to lose it are much smaller. I wouldn't go that far and say we are part of the shared economy, but what we really do is we are sharing assets. So the pooling concept really means various participants are sharing the same asset. And in our opinion, especially on the, in ULDs, pallets, there's no branding really on a pallet. It doesn't really matter. It's a piece of aluminium with a net. We really believe that there is no competitive advantage of having a branded, dedicated fleet. And so opening it up indeed is sharing and getting the economies of sharing assets. That's what we do, yeah.